Welcome back to Nexus Tech. Today we're doing something a little different. We're going to zoom in on a single day in the near future, November 10th, 2025. And what's so interesting about this one day is the story it tells, a story of this incredible duality. On one side, you have this mad dash to build the future, and on the other, a relentless, gritty battle to defend the present. Let's dive in.
And we're going to start right here with this quote from Mustafa Suleyman, the head of Microsoft AI. It just perfectly sets the stage for our first big theme, this race to create a whole new kind of intelligence and all the deep philosophical questions that come right along with it.
You see, on this particular day, it becomes crystal clear that there isn't just one single race for AI. Nope. There are two very different paths opening up, and each one has a totally different vision for what our intelligent future is even supposed to look like.
So on one side, you've got the big one everyone talks about, AGI, or Artificial General Intelligence. This is the idea of a totally unconstrained, autonomous AI. But Microsoft is hitting the brakes and charting a completely different course. They've got a new team focused on what they're calling Humanist Superintelligence, or HSI. The whole idea here is to build an AI that is, from its very core, controlled, aligned with our values, and designed to serve human goals. It's a really fascinating split in strategy.
But here's where it gets really interesting. While Microsoft is busy defining its philosophy, its key partner, OpenAI, is focused on something else entirely. We're talking sheer, explosive market dominance and platform growth. The contrast between the two? It's pretty stark.
And I mean, just look at this. On this day, OpenAI announces it has blown past 1 million business customers. 1 million! That makes it the fastest growing business platform in history. It's an absolutely mind-boggling milestone. And of course, that kind of growth translates directly into revenue. As you can see here, OpenAI is projecting an annualized revenue run rate of over $20 billion for 2025. The speed at which they're scaling is, well, it's just incredible. So who are these million customers? Well, we're not talking about small startups. We're talking about huge, major corporations. Names like Amgen, Cisco, Target, Lowe's. And this is the key takeaway. Large language models are not experimental toys anymore. They have officially become business-critical infrastructure. Okay, but for every single dollar being poured into building these amazing new AI futures, another dollar has to be spent defending the digital world we already have. So now we're going to shift gears. We're moving from the gleaming towers of creation down into the trenches, into the gritty reality of the digital battlefield.
And to really understand this battlefield, you need to know about threats like RCE, which stands for Remote Code Execution. This is one of the scariest types of vulnerabilities out there. Basically, it lets an attacker take control of a computer from anywhere in the world, often with the highest level of access. It's like they've been handed the keys to the entire kingdom.
And this isn't some abstract threat. This table shows you just how widespread the problem is. On this one day, security researchers are tracking critical bugs across the board. We're talking about Microsoft's own server update systems, web panels running on hundreds of thousands of servers, and even the virtualization tools that power the cloud. It is a war being fought on multiple fronts every single day. And that really brings us to the core challenge, the thing that keeps every IT and security team up at night. The very foundation of our digital world, the systems running everything from our banks to our hospitals, are under constant, relentless attack. But, there is a response. The solution isn't some magic bullet product. It's a mindset. It's a posture of constant vigilance, powered by really innovative defense mechanisms that are being developed by both the open source community and big companies alike.
A perfect example of this defense in action is something called live patching. SUSE, a big name in the Linux world, is pushing out updates that can fix the most critical vulnerabilities in the core of the operating system without needing to restart the server. Now, for a business that needs to be online 24/7, this isn't just a nice-to-have, it is an absolutely essential defensive weapon in this ongoing digital war.
So we've got this constant push and pull, right? Building versus defending. But what are the wider signals telling us? Where are things headed? Well, on this same day, we can actually find some interesting clues about the future in two very, very different systems, one in the stars and one in the markets.
First, let's look up. An interstellar comet, 3I/Atlas, is just about to become visible in the sky. And this is more than just a cool astronomical event. It's a signal of pure discovery. It's this profound reminder of the vast,
Unknown frontiers were still just beginning to chart, a pretty stark contrast to the human-made battles we're fighting on our digital frontiers down here.
Okay, now let's pivot from the cosmos all the way back down to Earth and look at the crypto markets, where the signal is, well, it's very different. What we see here is caution, big time. For the second week in a row, digital asset funds have seen over $1.3 billion flow out. That suggests investors are getting nervous and pulling their money back amid all the uncertainty.
But here's where things get complicated. There's this massive economic factor just looming on the horizon, a proposal for a direct payment program that could pump $300 billion straight into the economy. So the huge question on every trader's mind is how much of that cash makes its way into crypto? It's a total wild card that could completely flip the script on the cautious trend we're seeing right now.
Look, trying to understand how all these trends in AI, in cybersecurity, in the global markets, how they all connect is absolutely vital. So to keep getting clear, concise breakdowns on the topics that are shaping our future, make sure you're subscribed to the Nexus Tech channel.
So what's the big takeaway from this deep dive into just one day in tech? Well, I think it gives us a really powerful snapshot of the duality, this two-sided coin that really defines our technological future.
At the end of the day, it really just boils down to this. For every brilliant team that's racing to build a humanist superintelligence, there's another team fighting a quiet, but absolutely critical, battle to patch a server and defend the network. You simply cannot build the future if you can't secure the present.
And that leaves us with one final, and I think really important question to think about. As these two massive forces, creation and preservation, progress and protection, continue to pull and push and shape our world, where should we, as technologists, as investors, as citizens, where should we focus our limited time, our resources, and our energy next? Thanks for watching.